Mechanical Yordle Man is going to be removed. LeBlanc is going to be the answer here from LGD. Is Karma removed from Punished and PYL?
I really like the Karma denial. Obviously, she opens up so much in terms of the AD carry position when she's picked up, because it means that you don't necessarily need to rely on the server. You can go towards more of that carry-oriented position rather than the utility. Likewise, the fact that LGD have been using it as a flex pick, like you said, between PYL and Punished.
Yeah, most definitely. And Azir is going to be the second ban here for LGD. Lots of power picks still available as Ryze, Vladimir, all these sort of picks still up.
Something that has adjusted from LGD's red side bans is we've seen red side stable bans like Ryze and Rek'Sai kind of being, and the fact that one of those champions is going to go through. Wushuang, again, a very strong jungler, stronger than Eimy if we're going to line them up toe-to-toe.
Yeah, and look, there's Swain available as well. Of course, MaRin giving him a champion like that can be very dangerous. The whole top lane pool, in fact, is completely open apart from that Rumble pickup. So things like Trundle, things like Fizz, all sorts of things still able to hop onto this drift, as Bard is going to be the final ban. So Gauntlet's being thrown by LGD.
So this is what's really interesting. We have the immediate lock-in of the Vladimir, because like you said, it now becomes an issue of what's our priority. Is it going to be Ryze, Vlad, Swain, Rek'Sai? They go with the Vladimir, but LGD as a team have been much more creative in their draft phase, even if you go all the way back to 2015 Worlds when they tried to pull out the double lane of Brand Mordekaiser.
Yep.
Or, excuse me, the Brand support into a Mordekaiser AD carry position. So they showed the Cassiopeia as kind of the restated counter to Ryze. So I'm curious what their options are for Vladimir. If maybe they're going to look towards a Fizz.
Well, they could potentially. At the moment, GimGoon has locked in the Vladimir. He's got Teleport Ignite as well. Maybe looking towards something like Hecarim.
Or
theoretically.
Fizz.
Or Fizz. And Fizz would actually be a good denial pick here, as you mentioned. Can do wonders against the likes of Vladimir. Braum actually being considered now from LGD, and it's been locked in. So Ryze has been left up. They're going to take away the Braum and the Rek'Sai. Sort of the support being the priority.
And they've already shown that they have options that if game talents want to take the Ryze, that they have the Cassiopeia. It worked out successfully for them in their previous series. Could go and look that direction again. Likewise, Punished isn't necessarily the hard carry for their team, so the pick to make him strong doesn't mean as much for their victory condition.
Well, we'll see exactly what game talents are going to utilize here, augmenting this Vladimir pickup that they already have. Wushuang not going to head towards that Rek'Sai that he has seen a lot of success on so far. Does have options like the Kindred, Graves, Nidalee, all these sort of options now. Falling out of favor just a little bit for those ones, though. And that is going to be Kindred locked in. So Kindred and Jhin taken away here by Game Talents.
A lot of zone control on Game Talents composition so far. Obviously, Vladimir has big Venn diagram of murder out in front of him. Kindred offering a lot of control with Wolf, as well as the anti-dive potential from Lamb's Respite. And Jhin has been really utilized in siege compositions or line damage compositions. So approaching a tower, laying down the final curtain, and just poking everyone off of it.
Yeah, now LGD, considering what they want to do next, looks like they are thinking about leaving Punished's pick as the counter, or whether it's going to be MaRin. We shall have to see, as Imp has locked in Twitch already. My god, a lot of damage potential here, and we'll see whether he can use Wushuang's ultimate to his own effects. As Ryze now being considered by Punished.
The thought about Sivir kind of foretold their Ryze pick, and again the fact that it wasn't a huge priority. They'd rather deny Wushuang as well as prioritize PYL's champion pool before putting Punished in a position of power.
Yeah.
But the fact that again they were looking towards Sivir to augment Ryze's mobility, they decide instead of Sivir, let's just match Jhin for his late game damage potential, as well as offer up some counterplay to the Kindred ultimate.
And look, you did mention Savoki's support Trundle, and it's going to be locked away here as Fizz is being taken by GimGoon towards the top side. We had a feeling they might be playing something like that, and the denial of MaRin's Trundle towards the top side of the map in response. It's actually really interesting here. Now they're thinking about what they want to take.
Echo is still available, obviously on 6.11. Echo's had some nerfs. MaRin hasn't gone towards it as recently.
No.
Had more success on that Trundle on the Rumble. Malzahar being hovered.
Yep.
I think PYL's just messing with us, though.
I have a feeling that that might be the case. We're not going back to Season 1 just yet, as now Mordekaiser Don't play with my heart like this, PYL.
I was going to say, be still, Atlas.
I know. My favorite champion.
But it's actually one of those moments where I'm looking at LGD's draft. I'm like, it's LGD. They could actually just do anything.
They may just pick this up.
I wouldn't be surprised if they did lock in a bizarre champion.
That's really cool. Okay, so the Ryze is going to be heading towards the top side of the map once again. As MaRin is going to be picking that one up, and Punished grabs his Twisted Fate.
Yeah. Emphasis on his Twisted Fate. Punished is actually a very good TF player.
Yeah.
Again, I always like to throw back to Unlimited Potential versus EDG. Punished on his Twisted Fate pretty much taught LGD Gaming that you cannot leave TF open if Clearlove wants to play as Evelynn, because they were the first team to beat EDG off after they had gone on their undefeated streak. So this is a champion that he can certainly carry on.
Yeah, it would have been the first time that Clearlove lost on his Evelynn in quite some time as well, because certainly generally plays extraordinarily well, but interesting team comps both sides of the rift here, as Republic is going to be taking the Vladimir into the TF. Probably a little bit of wave clear pushing at the beginning, but the Vladimir will probably become a menace as the game progresses. And LGD will need to look at things like Executioner's Calling and the Merlin Omicron pretty early on in order to keep him down.
Game talents are set up for success is that if GimGoon and Republic get ahead, their 1-3-1 capabilities are actually really terrifying. So LGD need to make sure that they don't fall too far behind in terms of their lane assignments.
Well, we'll see how it goes. Coaches are going to shake hands. Let's get into game number 1 of Day 4's LPL action. Thank you very much, PentaQ, and welcome to Summoner's Rift, everyone, as Mountain Drake is going to be our first dragon of the game.
I feel like it's always Mountain Drake.
Really? I feel like it's always Cloud Drake. You know, it's like, let's just put in a Constellation Dragon every time. But no, pretty powerful one to start things off, especially if teams want to be moving towards more of a siege style. And with a champion like Kindred on the Rift, and a Mountain Drake coming up first.
Flash.
Yep. Oh, there it is. Actually gets the throw over the wall as he's going to get stunned. Republic in trouble. Has to use his pull first and flashes out of the way with the Ghost. Double summoner spells and probably not the preferred choice of first skill.
So it was cute how that was executed. Imp taking stealth on Twitch first, making sure that he comes around the corner and he gives Punished the line of sight so he can hit the yellow card from the brush.
Yeah.
As opposed to Punish having to reveal himself to get line of sight and then throwing it. Nice response from Republic, like you said. Taking W, not ideal in a 1v1 matchup against Twisted Fate to start, but does manage to save his life as well as using his Flash Summoner.
That is very cute. LGD still want to try and keep Republic down.
I believe Rusty used the word cheese lords yesterday.
Yeah. Well, they haven't blown any summoner spells yet, as there's the ambush. And PYL's going to make his way around. There's the flash, actually, from PYL, but doesn't get the Winter's Bite, as now they're going to move up for the lane swap.
So a bit of wasted time, but again, more pressure given to this Twisted Fate. It will be, like you said, the lane swap being initiated by LGD. So it's now a question about how the top laners and the junglers will respond, as well as how the waves will be set up.
At the moment, you can see MaRin trying to pick up as much farm before the bottom lane gets here. Managed to get one, and I believe the experience from another couple, as he's now going to head up and help Eimy around the jungle. PYL just trying to be a nuisance, as wushuang is clearing this one out. And Eimy actually might be in a little bit of trouble here, as the blue buff does get knocked up. MaRin seeing whether he wants to take that one, and he does. So Savoki continuing to be a bit of a nuisance. Pressuring them out of the jungle here. Not going to go towards the wolf camp, as Savoki now going to get turned on. MaRin able to throw down a fair bit of damage. There's the rune prison here as the exhaust comes out. Eimy will need to be careful, as there's the flash first blood from Savoki. 1 versus 2 in the jungle, and he's not done. The pillar goes down. MaRin can't actually move. Has to flash over the wall, as there's the gold card. Savoki in trouble. Rune prison will be there once more, as Savoki's able to utilize this Grasp of the Undying. Deadly Flourish, not going to be enough, as GimGoon's making his way over as well. What a beast!
Disaster strikes for LGD. So the other prong of this is the fact that wushuang got 2 camps. So you have to think he started Gromp. He then is also able to pull his Wolf camp because PYL doesn't mess with him nearly as much as the Trundle support does.
Yeah.
And on the other side, obviously Trundle flashing, getting the first blood.
Well, we'll see whether Eimy can actually punish this potentially with no flash towards the bottom side of the map. But in a lane swap situation, it's probably going to go unpunished here. As speaking of which, he's going to just be clearing out minions in the mid lane.
Just
wushuang counter jungling.
Puts wushuang just much farther ahead of Eimy. You can see that already reflected in their creep scores right now, as well as the experience difference between the two.
Yeah, level 3 to level 2 already. PentaQ's holding onto this minion wave. You can see LGD with a decent wave themselves. Another one crashing in. MaRin helping things out. Punished and Republic on their own little island here in the mid lane.
Never necessarily want your Vladimir in an isolated lane against the likes of Twisted Fate. Naturally, Punished isn't here to beat the Vladimir. It's just here to sit back, farm, try to get that level 6 and make things happen outside on the rest of the map, which kind of takes me to LGD's composition.
Yeah.
So LGD are running kind of an assassination pick-based composition. You have to think once the level 6 and once the Blade of the Rune King are online for both Imp and Punished. Their pick potential of movement on the map once these towers fall down opens up drastically.
And look, we're talking about once these towers have fallen, and Game Talent's already miles ahead as far as that is concerned. LGD had to wait for another wave. As this blue buff was taken, Eimy steals that one away. So it's a 3-buff start, actually, for Eimy.
Well, he gave one of his buffs to MaRin.
Yeah.
It's a nice recovery from wushuang.
Of course, that was the strong side of the map for LGD at the time, so it does make sense that he can head over there, relatively safely pick that one up. But GimGoon being given a lot of time with this minion wave that's currently pushing towards him as well. Imp and PYL going to head their way down. But no luxury afforded to MaRin in the same vein as Savoki and PentaQ well and truly here towards the top side of the map. And the Fizz with a decent start.
Does mean that LGD do have control over the bottom side of the map, so they can look to trade objective for objective in terms of the tower, as well as turn towards this Mountain Drake, like you said. Better than Cloud Drake.
Yeah, most definitely, but it looks like GimGoon might be the option here. He's going to start his back as Imp's making his way over.
He is Playful Trickster.
Yeah, he's going to make it underneath the turret. 4 members of LGD. Not going to dive him. PentaQ now starting some work on this top lane out of turret.
So far, the primary differences are between these two top laners. Like you said, the fact that Fizz got so much more attention and time in that solo lane, whereas MaRin had to play to the strong side of his map.
Yeah.
Still continuing to farm between his duo member.
You can see as well, Republic went back and got very early Mercury's treads. Extra movement speed, fantastic for Vladimir, but often likes to get boots of lucidity if he can. Does help him get to that 40% CDR. And Eimy now looking at possibly a dragon, but decides not to. This tower is most definitely going to fall down. LGD with some free time on theirs, but it's well and truly behind as GT have decided that they want to push forward on this one. Not too many minions remain, but they are able to shove this one into the turret, so MaRin's not going to be able to get any kind of freeze.
On the other side, LGD don't actually trade tower for tower. They do have another creep wave coming into them. But it looks like they're going to give all of the experience and resources to Imp, as opposed to MaRin again on that Ryze.
Yeah. MaRin actually heads towards the top side, picks up the farm that is underneath that turret. And Imp is going to finish off this outer towards the bottom side. wushuang, I believe, just stole away that Raptor camp. And Imp needs to head back to base. Actually doesn't decide to take this outer turret towards the bottom side. Game Talent's already with a big lead.
Imp's setting up a trap. PYL's also rotating down. He's deciding against it.
He just wants to start pushing this one out. People didn't arrive in time, and he wants to get those red dots.
LGD taking a time, though, to set up their triangle vision on Game Talent's red buff. The buff will be spawning soon. Of course, Eimy is across map right now.
There's a lot of vision actually available.
They're setting up for Dragon. It's now a question of how early will they pull the trigger on it, and what will they do with the vision.
And Savoki making his way around here as well. Serrated Dirk already done here for PentaQ, so as far as items are concerned, at a bit of an advantage. Winter's Bite once again going to go wide as Savoki, not quite level 4 just yet. PentaQ able to match levels with Imp, however.
Punish is also moving over to pick up the blue buff. Does have Destiny available to him. Again, going back to the fact that LGD have prioritized so much vision into that red side, they do have vision of Wushuang starting his red buff.
All right, now he's actually able to clear out the ward, but you're right. A little bit known, a lot of knowledge here for LGD so far towards the bottom side of the map.
Which is why they're pulling the wave back for safety, letting it collapse into them.
Does give them less control over that brush. Pink ward going to be taken down by Savoki. Wildcard's coming down, punished, avoiding Republic for now, but this Vladimir definitely doing exactly what he wants to be at this stage of the game.
Which is hyper-scaling into the late game. Luckily for LGD, their composition also has late-game insurance and policies with MaRin's Ryze as well as the Twitch.
Oh, MaRin as well now actually has to run away. Uses his ultimate here as Wushuang is going to force the flash out of the Ryze. Destiny's coming in. Everyone moving towards the top side of the map.
But the Destiny is just a deterrent right now. But Punish finally pulling the trigger next to the tower.
Yeah, just going to try and make sure that Republic isn't going to be able to get the work done. But MaRin in so much trouble. Hemoplague is going to be able to pick up the kill. And Punish now in trouble. Eimy over the side. GT. Brilliant play so far.
And this is kind of the thing that we've seen from LGD, that they're willing to be reactive, but still not quite as quick to make themselves proactive. So again, the Destiny comes out, was held on to for a very long time before Punish could get a really secure position, but the fact that Vladimir is beating you to that top lane without near the mobility is a concern.
Yeah, actually using the Ghost in order to close distance, and then flashing the extra damage with the Tides of Blood. Huh. That's cute. Twist of Fate says Blood Red was against Vladimir. I like it. Oh, gold card is going to come down. Republic just going to pull it. Avoids that one. Probably didn't need to. But Eimy now considering a gank. Pink ward is going to give up his position.
I mean, it's pretty much the difference between taking the gold card damage and the wild card damage versus just taking the damage of your W to avoid the CC lock.
Yeah. Well, Eimy is going to be able to clear out the ward. Grab himself a Rift Scuttler, and MaRin looking to try and get very aggressive onto Republic, who has to use his pull one more time. There is no flash on the Ryze, so can't flash Rune Prison or anything like that. He's trying to build up that passive, but can't find his way in. Republic going to make it safely underneath his turret.
Yeah, smartly realizing that something was probably afoot, especially with MaRin not being visible on the map. Just lets the creep wave push into him rather than trying to trade. Obviously, Vladimir now at level 9 has the 5 points in his queue, so if he does want to start trading, it's going to be a bit scarier for Punished.
Extraordinarily so. GimGoon going to throw a pretty huge wave into MaRin here towards the top side. The Ryze going to happily lick that one up. As Imp taking himself a Gromp towards the bottom side. Hasn't been back to base just yet. He's actually 11 CS ahead on this Twitch. I mean, if we're going to talk about signature picks, I believe Imp may have a skin for this champion.
I think I've seen it.
Yeah, I believe so too.
No, which is why it's fine for LGD to calmly kind of sit back, let the farm waves crash into them.
And at the moment, they're actually ahead in CS at basically every point, which has kept them comparable in this gold, despite the fact that GT have those 2 extra kills and the extra turret.
Yeah, and it should be noted that the turret to even it up for LGD in that bot side is actually still fairly low. It's a little bit less than 25%. So LGD could pull the trigger on that and brute force it, but speaking of brute force.
Yeah. Flash had to be used there from PYL as the curtain call comes out. The exhaust is down as Stand Behind Me is going to get into relative safety. Eimy was waiting in the wings. Now tunneling into that river. Wushuang wanted to pick himself up a Rift Scuttler, but isn't going to be able to. Is now punished, waiting for a gold card. There it is. So Wushuang's going to get caught out. Only level 5. Oh, he's actually level 8. Never mind. So he's going to have that Lamb's Respite if they need it. And Savoki, balls of steel, just going to be able to take that pink ward. And MaRin, no mana at all. GimGoon going to jump on him. The Ignite's down, and he is so incredibly dead. Doesn't have flash. He's going to try and run away, but Urchin Strike going to get GimGoon right up close take down the Ryze.
And that's 2 times now that MaRin has been caught out, overextended on the top side of the map. Second time, obviously, like you said, without the mana resource. So GimGoon seeing that as the clear opportunity to jump on him.
Yeah, capitalizes beautifully. And GimGoon once again able to do some work on this Fizz. We'll see whether he goes towards the Trinity Force. At the moment, heading for a very first item, Spirit Visage. This Republic just runs up to Punished. And you're not going to be able to out-trade that.
Yeah, and this is part of the problem with Vladimir, especially when he is low health, how much health he'll get back on those Q trades, especially with the lower cooldown, now having the 5 points in it since he's past level 9.
Yeah.
It means that Punished has so much more pressure put on him to make plays happen on other sides of the map, but with MaRin just naturally losing the 1v1, issues arise.
Most definitely. As he's going to come around, pick up this farm underneath the outer turret in the mid lane. Savoki able to get deep vision on the blue buff, which has just respawned. PentaQ getting rid of some tunnels. Destiny has been popped as he's looking for PentaQ. The gold card goes down on Savoki, though. He doesn't have Subjugate just yet, as the captive audience is going to be there, but Punished still able to pick up the kill and LGD make their mark.
So the real success story there was the fact that MaRin was in the mid lane versus GimGoon being in the top side. Yes, he had teleport, but it was too little too late as soon as his bot lane was caught out. But LGD having that confidence to pull the trigger, knowing that MaRin was there to make a very easy rotation. So good use of the Destiny should give them control over the Dragon if they want to go for it.
Well, at the moment, they are just leaving it for now. They do have a lot of vision around the area, but MaRin probably wanted to be able to pick up this wave.
Yeah, and it's prioritizing not only the wave, but making sure that their tower top side isn't taken.
Yeah.
Dive being looked at, though.
Yeah, Lamb's Despite, of course, available for wushuang.
And the Destiny isn't available, so...
MaRin, however, is just going to be going back to base. They're not going to be able to backdoor this turret. MaRin is going to get fished. There's the flash forward from wushuang. MaRin in so much trouble and is going to fall down underneath the turret. GimGoon had the turret aggro for a little while, but wushuang not going to fall after he playfully tricksters away.
Eimy is on the chase, however, and does have the leg in front of them. Could look for the unburrow.
Yeah, no Destiny available like you said before, but if Eimy can actually get in here, could be a big deal. As GimGoon, not a lot of mana. Urchin Strike, he's going to get him out. No knock-up to come in from Eimy. As wushuang has the ultimate still available. No turret is here as the gold card is being looked for from Punished. There it is. Does have the flash if he wants it, but Imp still able to lock down the kill. And wushuang decides not to use the ult. Understands that the rest of his team are making moves around the map.
And luckily for LGD, they don't lose too much in response. Some chip damage on the mid tower, but thankfully it is a Jhin. Doesn't have the best siege, and now counterplay TP.
Yeah, MaRin actually looking for it. Nice pillar comes out from Savoki to stop him, but still wants to find PentaQ. Boots of Swiftness, of course, already built up, means that he will make it out.
In the end, though, nice for LGD. They pick up a kill. Overextension. Not overextension, because they got the dive on MaRin, so in the end, I guess it's just a 1-for-1. If it was a different AD carry and not a Jhin, however, LGD would have way overstayed their welcome on that chase and lost mid-tower.
Yeah, well, right now you can see LGD actually trying to push this one up themselves. PentaQ and Republic going to be sharing farm underneath this turret, which is not exactly ideal. And GimGoon building up towards his Trinity Force now after that Spirit Visage is done. He's just farming things towards the top side. Imp just taking everything that he can. Does have double buffs currently as well after taking down wushuang.
It's always been what MaRin and Imp are very good at. And LGD in particular as a team, really good at allocating their resources and taking or maximizing the most out of the creep waves in terms of getting their gold. It feels like MaRin and Imp are constantly camped, and even when they're down, they're somehow still even or okay on farm. MaRin actually completed his Roa at a fairly decent time this game, a little bit ahead of average, despite being dove twice. Or overextended once, dove once.
He has, of course, died 3 times, so not exactly having the best time on the map so far as Imp, just going to poke his head in.
But it really hasn't slowed down his power spike.
The ambush is going to be popped here as Imp looking for GimGoon. He's going to get knocked up immediately. Urchin Strike comes out as there's a Twisted Fate, but I believe he's still going to die. Punished is going to be able to pick up that kill as Imp runs away. Curtain Call still doing some work here for PentaQ as wushuang's taking some damage, but is able to lock down Eimy. Imp now running away, and we'll see whether Game Talents can grab anything more out of this. They'll have to dodge some wildcards making their way towards this Rat, who's looking for his ambush cooldown. Wants to move out of the way as there's the flash gold card. Wushuang in trouble, just gets destroyed as now the ultimate comes out from Imp and he's just turning things around onto Savoki. Gold cards there, however. And it is going to be Imp that locks down yet another kill. Republic wants to grab more as the Hemoplague is going to finish off the Rat. And the teleport's coming in now from GimGoon as he respawns. Nice slow to come in from the Winter's Bite as Republic looking to hold on. But that's going to spell a gold lead for LGD.
An indecision from Game Talents. PentaQ actually started to rotate towards the top side before his team definitively pinged him again on this mid tower. In the end, Game Talents do manage to get the objective, but bottom, MaRin has been doing work as well.
Yeah, and actually able to shove this wave completely into the inner turret, so no freeze available, anything like that. And all of this farm is going to die before anyone makes it down. So MaRin building up a huge CS lead at the same time.
And the important thing is that despite the fact that GT still have a tower lead on LGD, the gold is fairly even, if completely not slightly even for LGD.
Yeah.
Which freestanding gold, which means they have effectively a 1,000 gold lead just sitting on the map for them.
And if there's ever a player that you want to be ahead, it is probably the likes of Imp.
This composition is so cute, though, as it reveals itself. The fact that they're using... like, you look at the Twitch and the Twisted Fate, that makes so much sense, is there's a huge threat for any member of Game Talents to be kind of overextended on the map at any time, the assassination potential of Destiny and an ambush coming into play.
Yeah.
But when you then pair that with Rek'Sai, the fact that Rek'Sai was sitting tunneled looking for the Tremor Sense is just like a hunt comp.
Mm-hmm.
Which, so fitting for LGD.
And it's also really good at sort of hiding the Twitch at the same time. We know that they picked the Twisted Fate late, but Game Talents now without any of these options to respond to the Twitch's ambush.
Also makes sense of prioritizing Rek'Sai so early into the draft phase to make sure that the Tremor Sense couldn't be used against the stealth in Twitch's comp.
Yeah.
Or, excuse me, kit.
I just like it. I like everything that's going on now for LGD as far as how they've built this one out. MaRin as well, able to pick up a whole heap of farm. He's 40 CS ahead. Now, he's probably got more money than GimGoon.
No, that's the thing. Even though if you just completely don't look at his score and just the itemization, MaRin's power spike hasn't been delayed at all. And this is something that MaRin is constantly able to do as he's caught out again.
Yes, he's most definitely in trouble as Savoki is just going to try and keep him there. Deadly Flourish going to come down and PentaQ is able to pick up the kill. Now, however, LGD pick up a dragon.
Naturally, that's bad. There's never going to be a scenario where that's in the good column. But again, the fact that he's still not technically that far behind or behind at all in terms of the clock.
Yeah. So we are just needed to take a little bit of a timeout as things get a little darker. Game Talent's looking to try and invade onto this Raptor camp. Eimy more than happy for now, though. He's actually ahead as far as that farm is concerned at the same time. So as far as Wushuang's early lead is concerned, Eimy has done pretty well in order to try and keep himself back up. Oh, we're looking at this man on your screen right now, the man with the phage, almost building towards that Trinity Force. GimGoon is going to be a big deal as they move forward in this game.
Still a lot of gold needed.
Yeah.
It's my only issue with, like, I love the new Trinity Force, but it's still just such an expensive item. So when you're comparing, like, the carry top laners versus the tank top laners, it's effectively low econ versus massive amounts of gold.
You can see Imp now. Does have his Renan's Hurricane completed. Will probably be looking towards the Infinity Edge as his next item. And at that point, this Twitch is going to be massive.
And then it becomes kind of how LGD's composition... That was an interesting pillar.
Yeah, the invisible pillar.
How LGD's composition works against Game Talent's comp. So we talked about how they have a Vladimir, how they have a Fizz, which means that they have great 1-3-1 potential as long as they get the correct lane assignments if the Fizz and the Vladimir are on clock or even slightly ahead. But it's so dangerous for either GimGoon or Republic to be extended against this pick comp.
We'll see whether they actually ever are, because it looks at the moment like they're planning on grouping up for a lot of the remainder of this game.
Because it's dangerous to be by themselves with such an open map.
Yeah. It's scary to go alone.
Bring a friend.
Mm-hmm. PWL, though, with his mobility boots built, will be able to respond to a lot of what's been going on. As Imp ambushing his way forward, finds himself a Savoki. Just continues to farm out this wave. We'll see whether they get any damage onto this turret. Looks like they're just trying to create pressure around the map, force GT to respond. MaRin continues to push on the bottom side.
Yeah, they need to be really cautious as they move between the lanes to make sure that they keep up flanking vision. Because Game Talents, yes, they have great split push pressure with Fizz and Vladimir, but they also have decent 5v5 as long as GimGoon can get a flank to get onto that back line and start assassinating Imp.
Wow, there's the curtain call already as the pillar goes down. wushuang able to lock down Punished. It is going to be Republic that picks up the kill. PYL now able to stand beside Eimy, who's looking to try and find a way out. Just says, I'm tunneling, I'm out of here, my friend. As Republic is able to close distance with the Ghost. They want PYL, though. His mobility boots have come back up. There is no more Ghost available here from Republic as PYL doesn't want to get hit by anything. The exhaust comes out. It's a little bit late, though, as there's the pillar. Eimy able to get into position one more time, and there's another stand beside me for PYL. GimGoon, though, looking for another Urchin Strike. Can they actually get there as GimGoon throws down the Ignite, is able to lock up the kill?
And just as we were saying, the flank potential coming out of Game Talents. Yes, it wasn't GimGoon that picked the kill, but they pulled the trigger. Immediately the teleport came down. Fizz jumped onto the back line, grabbed Twisted Fate, and just deleted him from the map. Didn't help that Imp was also not involved in that fight at all.
Yeah, but it has given Imp a lot of time to pick up even further of a CS lead. MaRin not going to get punished too much as he's still 50 CS ahead. And there's the Destiny. PentaQ flashing out of the way, but Punish still able to lock this one down. Oh. Really nice Lambs Respite comes in from wushuang as there's the flash knock-up. Lambs Respite is going to fall. Wildcard's going to pick up the kill into PentaQ, and that's exactly what they wanted.
In the end, they do manage to pick up the kills. Like you said, was a great attempt from wushuang on the Lambs Respite, just on the very tip there. But good reach and patience from Punish on his cooldowns to wait for the ultimate to drop and pick up what he came for.
Yeah, precisely. We'll see whether utilizing the fact that Jhin no longer on the map is going to give them some time with this outer turret.
That's why you see Republic rotating towards that mid lane.
Yeah, of course, no teleport available for this Vladimir or the Twisted Fate. wushuang not going to be able to take away this red buff as he has to dance away from Eimy. Imp really wanted to pick it up, so still a win for Game Talents, theoretically. Dragon number 2 going to be up from... Sorry, in 1 minute and 30 seconds. wushuang gets his revenge.
I think if you lose something, you just automatically lost, even if it didn't go to the best case.
That's true. I'm thinking more consolation prize.
Consolation prize is getting positioning and posturing on this mid tower, and LGD having to completely reset Imp's position to get back in front of it.
Well, we'll see whether they're going to be able to do it in time here, as POL is going to make his way in. Eimy as well with the ultimate is going to find his way over, and no Destiny available here from Punish so far. He's going to be up very, very soon as he's got a lot of cooldown reduction. That's 40% already built for this Twisted Fate. Decides to forego the Rod of Ages option. Makes sure that he gets all that CDR as quickly as he can.
And still, LGD only 100 gold behind despite being down in towers.
And kills, yeah.
These CS differences doing wonders for them, as now a bit of a cheeky play.
Oh, that Vision Ward bait. Probably not going to pay off here for GT. As you can see, LGD nowhere near the vicinity.
Their only issue right now is they need to make sure that Baron isn't being snuck. So, again, utilizing Rek'Sai, as she's now caught.
Yeah, just going to tunnel away, though. Eimy going to be safe for now, but that Vision is going to be saved on the side of Game Talents. Of course, they do have pretty decent Baron damage out of the likes of Fizz, Vladimir, Jhin.
Both teams have great Barons.
Kindred, yeah.
Ryze and Twitch, and like you said, Kindred, Fizz, and Vladimir on the other side. I'm going to say more Kindred as the primary source there. Probably,
yeah, should have mentioned Kindred first instead of waiting for an afterthought. But you can see wushuang looking to take down Mountain Drake number 2. MaRin wants to steal away this blue buff if he can. Republic doesn't want none of it. He's going to be able to steal it back. And a little bit out of position here is Punished. He was coming to pick it up, but decided he's going to wait a little bit. There's the Destiny popped. We'll see whether LGD can collapse here, as wushuang has been caught out of position. Lance Spike comes in. Can he buy enough time? As there's the Deadly Flourish. Nice exhaust down. Stops Savoki from falling. And with nothing else to gain on this side of the map, LGD have to slink away.
That was pretty cute from Game Talent, splitting up their team, having wushuang take the dragon and then also securing their blue buff. The reason MaRin walked over to blue is knowing that Game Talents would contest for that dragon. LGD deciding not to 5v5 for it, so was trying to get some sort of, like you said, consolation prize.
Yeah.
Punish tried to make a play happen. Unfortunately, the utility of tankiness that Lamb's Respite gives you pretty much put a damper on his plans.
Imp just gets flourished while he was trying to stealth forward. It's very embarrassing. And that is actually a Duskblade of Drakthar built up already from PentaQ.
The penetration build.
It's also got the best name in the game.
I think you just like to say it. We've started to see increasing popularity. Still the two main Jhin builds being used. So we saw Essence Reaver still coming out yesterday.
Yeah.
Not one has been definitively claimed as better than the other. Just different purposes.
Yeah. And PentaQ now building towards some sort of Zeal item. We'll see what he decides to pick up. Rapid Fire Cannon, of course, often a choice. Jins do like. Imp able to clear out minion waves very quickly with this Renan's Hurricane, though, as once again GT forced to respond. Nice knock-up comes in here as Savoki actually trapped himself into the wall. The curtain call comes down. Imp going to get slowed. As now MaRin looking to try and lock this one down. Really nice damage onto the Rat before anything has really started. And MaRin now finds himself out of position. Has to flash as wushuang was closing the distance. GT now think that they can actually do something here. No Destiny is going to be available. Now they want this inner turret. Eimy tunnels his way out of the way of the pillar. And 5 members of GT actually doing battle here. MaRin will have the flank with the teleport if he wants it. Going to get all of his health back first. That's a Void Staff already done at the same time as Gold Card comes in. Flourish not going to find anyone. As GimGoon now looking to try and find his way into the back line. Imp now stealthed up. Nice double knock-up comes down as wushuang. He's going to take a lot of damage from Punish, but it's a nice Hemo Plague. You can see MaRin already getting the work done in the back line as Savoki is going to fall. Republic going to be out of Zhonya's, but I have a feeling he's still super dead. And MaRin's going to be able to lock down yet another kill as LGD probably got eyes on the Baron.
There's not a lot of advantage to Game Talent's composition to try to fight like that. And where a scenario where you set your line of scrimmage and you stand behind it, you just run full force to the enemy team as Imp making some hero plays. Yeah,
Lamb's Respite is going to come down, but Imp is going to benefit from it. Just gets destroyed afterwards. But MaRin able to answer. That is going to be AD carries traded as the poison's still ticking down, but wushuang is going to be safe for now. And you can see Eimy and Punish, they want to lock down this jungler so badly. That Pre-Seeker pretty close, but Punished is ghosting. Will be able to get there. The gold card, Destiny, does come out. And there. Oh my goodness. Okay, wild card. Punish is able to lock down the kill.
Almost punished for not watching the explosion right there, but does manage to pick it up.
No pun intended.
Imp certainly punished his team.
Yeah.
Trying to go a bit too aggressive when LGD were walking towards the Baron. That said, it would have been curious, kind of a 50-50, if they would have pulled the trigger on it anyway, since GimGoon was still relatively healthy, which goes back to my first point. Game Talent's composition is so reliant on flanks. Vladimir has issues kind of reaching into backline. He's really reliant on using that ghost, using a teleport even, doesn't have it in this game to make sure he gets back there.
Yep.
Fizz needs to be able to reach Twitch as well as Twisted Fate. We saw him use his teleport to great success in a previous engagement. That time around was completely zoned out of the fight, had to leave. So Game Talent just need to be much more patient about how they're setting up these fights and not try to contest LGD over these towers.
Yeah, and understand what their comp needs to be doing as well. As Eimy currently clearing out vision, misses that one completely. As he's just underground. Public pretty shiny right now, as you can hear.
Is that the Zhonya's Hourglass?
Yeah, that's called the Perma Zhonya's. I like it.
I mean, that's pretty much Vlad anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Thematically correct. Punished. Now moving into a side lane. This is something that this team is definitely capable of. As you can see, MaRin keeping things pushed in the mid lane. Republic able to answer quite nicely. And that's 100 CS the lead for MaRin. This Ryze is huge.
Completely made up for his lackluster beginnings, if you will.
Yeah. And managed to pick up 3 kills in that last exchange. Does almost have 4 items as the Guardian Angel is close. Pillar tried to lock down some members of LGD, but they're not going to be able to get there. And once again, GT setting up for a siege.
And MaRin, it's much easier for him to be effective in these team fights than it is for GimGoon. Again, kind of responsibility pressure on the Fizz to outmaneuver to get to that backline, whereas MaRin actually just stands next to Imp. I mean, we've seen him be flashing forward and getting into that front line, because obviously he's able to do that. But again, it's this setting a line of scrimmage. Well, my line of scrimmage has Ryze on it. Yours has Fizz.
Sorry, in other words. As you can see, Republic trying to fill out the rest of his cooldown reduction. This Imp is going to create red versions of himself just before clearing out this minion wave. But the problem is that LGD, they wanted to get to this stage. They got a Twitch. They got the Ryze. They got the Twisted Fate, who does heck of a lot of late game damage. He's only got one more item to build. Imp has his Infinity Edge done now. LGD are teamfight ready.
Yeah, they have been. Game Talents, we've talked about this before, they do have a decent 5v5 comp. It's a little bit harder to execute. It's not harder to execute, but where they want to execute it is very different. Again, LGD will be empowered in the lanes, and Game Talents will be empowered around the jungle. They need to make use of Fog of War much more effectively, because they need to get those side flanks.
Republic was trying to take some cheeky walls, isn't able to. As of course GT just snuck a Cloud Drake.
GT were also prepping their side waves in particular, which is what Punish is responding to right now with his Destiny. So
yeah,
Game Talents
does have it available.
Doing a bit better job of setting kind of tempo and pace right now in terms of this lull in the game.
But you can see its experience advantages across the board here for LGD. MaRin's level 16 to the 14 of GimGoon. Punished, equal with the Republic right now, and Imps level 15 over PentaQ. LGD just getting more out of the map this game, despite GT having a good early game and actually playing things out quite nicely in a macro sense. Just hasn't been quite enough. MaRin still 100 CS ahead.
The Flame Horizon.
Mm-hmm.
Does have the GA as well. Rusty typically calls this the GG point. It's a little bit different just because we still are fairly on clock for Game Talents. Although LGD taking now a 4K gold lead, especially as that tower falls down.
Able to even out the turrets, of course, like you just said. So the slight dragon advantage, not quite enough here for GT, and it just doesn't look like they know what they want to accomplish here. As now MaRin moving down will be happy to duel this Fizz, as the Destiny's going to come in, so he's going to have help. Urchin Strike used first as GimGoon holding on to the Playful Trickster for now, and he's just going to give it up. Balls down punished. Yeah, gets fished.
And that's the problem, is that Game Talent's composition wanted to do that. They wanted Fizz in a side lane, they wanted Vladimir in a side lane, but they lost their dueling potential, especially with MaRin's itemization, and more importantly, the threat of Punish showing up.
Yeah.
So again, LGD's composition really revealing itself now in execution late game.
And MaRin actually able to shove things out here towards the bottom side, so GT forced to respond, gives him some time here in the mid lane. In a turret, possibly under fire. You can see that top wave pushing for LGD as well, as MaRin just camping out on this ward. Curtain call comes in. Imp actually takes one of them, two of them, three of them, four of them. So
a
that's
lot
a lot of damage. Yeah. In a little bit of trouble. Of course, doesn't proc the Duskblade. And MaRin, with some spare time, going to take down another turret. So
there's no answer. Game Talents can't send anyone down there because LGD would threaten the Baron, which is why he was standing on the ward, which was True Vision because it was a pink ward, is he was making sure that he didn't reveal himself too early and waiting for LGD to get in position so that if he went down bottom, if Game Talents made the mistake of sending resources down for them, that LGD would be able to take the Baron. So they effectively had to sacrifice their turret because GimGoon was caught down bottom and he's the only member with teleport. And now getting punished again.
Yeah, there's another Destiny. GimGoon not going to be able to get out of that one. Playful Trickster already down. Looks almost all too easy here, as MaRin does have teleport as well. So GimGoon's dead. LGD thinking about the Baron.
Exactly. Again, LGD in position to look for this Baron. They're just trying to bait Game Talents into mispositioning themselves.
And now Punished will just continue split pushing. MaRin's going to head back to base, make sure that they guard against this Baron buff. But look at how much damage this Twisted Fate does to the turrets. That Lichbane tearing it apart, and that's going to fall immediately.
And zero response from Game Talents. When this team showed up so strong in the beginning of the LPL, it was how they were winning that was so interesting. It was kind of like these two Frankenstein teams put together. It was their late game decision making.
Yeah.
But in this series against LGD, being completely undone.
Punish as well now stealing away this red buff. Almost has his Destiny back available one more time, so that mobility once again a threat. As GimGoon back towards the bottom side. He's got teleport. This is a big deal. LGD shoving a huge wave into the top lane as Imp now deciding to go back. We'll see whether he can complete that Mercurial Scimitar or whatever else he decides to finish off next.
They're just going to continue to abuse the teleport discrepancy because effectively it's double TP with that Destiny versus one.
Oh, once again, Destiny going to come out. That is going to be the fish down on a GimGoon, but Punish just going to ignore it. And waiting for another gold card, locks it in. GimGoon is going to die. MaRin grabs another kill. They're looking for a possible inhibitor.
Game
Decide not to take
Talents
it.
finally have to pull the trigger and try to collapse. Meanwhile, LGD on Baron.
Yeah, MaRin actually does have his Guardian Angel, but will fall down. There's the Zhonya's as punished. He is going to fall, but Baron buff is going to be taken. MaRin wants to try and take a life with him, but he's not going to be able to. Double kill comes out for Republic, and the Baron buff is going to fall down. So 2 kills for a Baron buff, and 1 kill. Probably worth the LGD.
And that was 3 kills. Like, LGD have been setting up that play for the last 2.5 to 3 minutes, killing GimGoon repeatedly.
Yeah.
And Game Talents, again, they have 0 response. They don't know what to do. They eventually have to collapse to save their inhibitor because LGD will get the inhib anyway if they don't go down, which means that they'll play with that pressure point to get Baron anyway. Just a very patient, very veteran call coming out of this squad.
Yeah, really clean from LGD, and this is not a word that we've associated with this team so far.
Clean.
Yeah, they've been a little bit messy. This
Chaotic.
is fantastic. Yeah, exactly right.
Maybe a little bit lazy.
But 8,000 gold is now the lead as LGD can tighten the screws with that Baron buff. Dragon up in 9 seconds as Amy's looking for it. Is going to be the Elder Drake. As of course the first Dragon was taken quite late in this game. Imp, tilted. He'd done so much work on that Rift Skull.
Game Talents are in a better position to try to contest this one, just because there's not another pressure point that LG are really splintering to pull Game Talents around the map.
And Destiny just came back up here as well, so Punish can move towards the side lane if he wants to and make his way in when he feels like it. MaRin, with the teleport available, is waiting in the mid lane. They just want to shove this one out. No Baron buffs on these 2 members, which is probably a bit of a shame for LGD.
What LGD wanted to do is stall out long enough that MaRin can get to that top side, because again, there wasn't any pressure point that LGD could set up with this Elder Drake as they approached it, but if MaRin can get that top wave going and they can stall out long enough, there will be one.
They certainly will. Double Flame Horizons actually so far this game, as Imp is already 100 CS ahead of PentaQ at this point in the game. Game Talents are going to start off this Elder Dragon, though. This is dangerous.
MaRin is resetting his position so he can have Home Guard teleport available.
Yep, Pillar comes down. Imp now waiting off to the side. It's a curtain call that comes in as the Hemoplague is down onto the wrap. You can see the teleport in from MaRin. Might be a little bit late as the Hemoplague does so much damage. There's the Lambs with Spiders. Wushuang is being kept alive, but Imp's able to take down Republic. He's just ripping through the team members as PentaQ over to the side, being the hero that they need. MaRin is going to be able to lock him down, though. As you can see, GT just getting destroyed left, right, and center. Punished is able to take down the Trundle and just head towards the bottom side and grab himself an inhibitor.
And LGD can take whatever they want on the map. It will be the inhibitor as well as the Elder Drake, possibly. Nope, Eimy and PYL and MaRin actually just going to go ahead and reset their waves, so they got what they came for. But again, Game Talents, they try to just run straight through LGD's composition, and MaRin was even late to that fight. It wasn't like you had the Ryze immediately in front of you, but they can't get to Imp in time to blow him up. So Imp flashes back. He's now got everyone in a tight little corridor for his rat-a-tat-tat. Eventually, the Fizz and the Vladimir get back, but it's too little too late. The damage has already been done, and now here comes MaRin on the flank. Once his AD carry has fallen, you still have to deal with the Ryze, and you just expended everything. Yeah,
just destroyed as there's Savoki falling down as well. The clean ace coming in. Well, not clean. Traded it for a rat, as now the Elder Drake is going to fall down and LGD lock that one up. So everything in favor of this squad right now. That is double death caps already built up. LGD have 2 mages with 6 items.
And we asked who is going to be the wild card. Typically, Wushuang and GimGoon are kind of the stable members, and then maybe Republic really spikes up. Maybe PentaQ has a fantastic game.
Yeah.
Likewise, on the other side, MaRin and Imp, we expect great things from them. But Eimy being much more proactive, Punish looking much more comfortable.
Phenomenal, actually.
Yeah, much more comfortable on the Twisted Fate, one of his signature picks. But the thing is I actually feel like GimGoon really struggled this game, or at least was punished this game.
Yeah, and he did get an early lead. The lane swap treated him pretty well. Unfortunately, it just wasn't quite enough as LGD now able to clear out everything here in this jungle.
It almost doesn't matter the leads, because again, if you look at MaRin, killed, at one point was like 0-4 in the game.
Yeah.
But it's when these leads are being executed on, or what comes after the lead is given. Like LGD, they just are doing so much more with key moments in the game than Game Talents did.
Yeah, and it's just the punishment they're able to dish out as well here as LGD with no response as they take down their second inhibitor of the game. Now looking to move top, shove this wave all the way through. Super minions will do the rest as they are in so much control. Blue buff being stolen away on their way past. They're just grabbing everything.
Do you feel the hype building, Atlas?
Oh, I do. If there's anyone that's the first to believe in the LGD hype train, it is most certainly me. Not afraid. Even if they're against a team called GT, which has the same name as one of my all-time favorites.
The thing that I still love about LGD, because again, they're still not winning the same way when they were in their truly dominant fashion back in 2015 summer, which was about them controlling the map, making very intelligent macro decisions. Yes, we saw an intelligent map decision against the likes of Game Talents by camping GimGoon repeatedly, pressuring that Baron inhib as well as the Baron. But it's this fact that LG really understand themselves, that they're a scrappy, pick-based team that when things start going pear-shaped, when things start going sideways, they throw it all to the wind. They just look for a team fight. It's this idea, and we talk about this all the time, that when LGD are losing, they lose very quickly because they never stop doing what they love to do, which is fight people.
Mm-hmm. And also, it's often the best way to get back into a game. If you get one of those miracle team fights, you can actually turn things all the way around. Whereas, if you lose slowly, like Game Talents are doing right now, there's not a whole lot of opportunities to find your way back in. You have to make plays to get back in.
They're a high-risk, high-reward type of team.
Yeah.
Except I think that their issue and why they haven't been so successful in the LPL is that they do high-risk, kind of medium reward. Here's our team fight.
Throws. Yeah, as MaRin actually has to flash out of the way here. Doesn't have his GA back up just yet. Actually does. As Punish comes in with a gold card at the ready. He's going to be able to throw it down. Look at the damage from these wild cards. This Twisted Fate is so damn big. Playful Trickster is going to get GimGoon out of the way of the gold card, but you can see Punish continuing to look for a dive. It's going to head to the bottom side and keep shoving out minion waves.
Also did not help that Imp was over the wall untouched and able to, again, use his range and reach of the Rat-a-tat-tat to throw damage across multiple members, as now the suffocation takes place. They're smothering Game Talents.
Yeah, wushuang taking a lot of damage there as he gets hit by the gold card. GimGoon actually going to throw down the engagement here as Deadly Flourish comes in. There's Lambs for Spiders. wushuang taking a lot of damage. Imp is already dead as Punish trying to get out of the back of this one. You can see GT actually playing this out fantastically well, and they've cleaned up the team fight. MaRin is going to respawn, but it's a triple kill for GimGoon, and Eimy just didn't want to come out of that Guardian Angel.
Game Talents finally find the fight that we're looking for. That said, LG were sitting on a lot of gold that they hadn't spent yet.
Yeah.
So that was a small window where Game Talents were okay to look for that fight. Likewise, executing on the appropriate targets that time around, whereas the previous fights in this game have been a bit lopsided.
Very true. PYL now going to be able to give Imp 100% critical chance, as Game Talents will be able to grab themselves a Baron off the back of this one as well. Be able to claw within 10,000 gold, but they haven't got very much base remaining.
Doesn't necessarily mean as much this late in the game just because everyone's sitting on your big core items. The Baron pretty much just means that they shouldn't lose to creeps.
Yeah, that will definitely help. Black Cleaver done for Eimy.
It'll buy them enough time so that their inhibs should respawn or get close to respawning, which means that it effectively gives them one more team fight to try to make this happen.
Well, so far, these super creeps running in like rabid dogs, but the Baroned up minions are going to be able to help them out. You can see pushing them back quite nicely. The fact that they do actually have Nexus turrets remaining is definitely a good news story here for GT.
And LGD's composition loses a lot of its power inside someone's base like this. They can set up pink wards defensively. Again, a big part of their comp is utilizing pick potential. Obviously, Twisted Fate doesn't pop his ultimate in the base when he's standing 5 feet from you, and you suddenly get a huge advantage.
Yeah, I'm wondering what he wants to actually spend his money on, as he's got 6 items. Possibly looking to sell the Ghost Blade, grab something else. There's GT. It's definitely a team effort, keeping this base safe.
It's making sure that no one's getting picked out.
Yeah.
So, buddy system, holding hands.
Mm-hmm. Once again, all 5 moving their way to the mid lane. Clear that one out. The next wave of super creeps towards the bottom side of the map going to be helped out by Eimy. So he throws that one forward. Inhib going to respawn in the mid lane very soon, and the bottom lane has already come back up.
So again, Game Talents just need to survive these crashing waves of super creeps, this Baron, and that last team fight. Bought them time, bought them another team fight to try to turn this game around. We are coming into the extreme late game.
Yeah. And now we'll see where LGD decide to go, whether it is going to be a split push type scenario, It's Punish now towards the bottom side. We'll need to be a little bit careful as the 5-man death squad is moving their way over.
The nice thing is that LGD still have the luxury of doing that. And yes, they lose a lot of power in their comp in terms of finding and picking people off. But they compensate for that because, like you said, they can still look for that split push. They're dealing, or they have the double teleport if the Destiny is up versus the single teleport on GimGoon.
Yeah, I guess they also have that Void Rush as well for Eimy. He's able to get the work done. Smites away the Siege minion. Is LGD giving a lot of respect to GT, especially with the fact that their Guardian Angels are on cooldown for the moment. Still a few minutes before they get those ones back. Probably looking for an Elder Drake as that point to try and actually make something happen. Because right now, staying very far back, not letting too much happen.
They still have the advantage of the top inhibitor for game talents being dead. So technically applying pressure in 3 waves, although that will not be good for Punished.
Yeah, Punished actually forced to use the flash. The pillar comes out, but isn't going to stop him. Big summon spell though, now on cooldown. MaRin was looking to answer with an inhibitor in the mid lane. GimGoon with his GA, I mean, this is a big Fizz. Can get his way into the back line. Makes some silly noises.
Almost as good as Korean Lysandra.
Oh, is there anything as good as Korean Lysandra?
Chinese Twitch.
Oh, close. MaRin still able to get chip damage on this inhib. May actually fall down here as Imp does get a cheeky auto attack onto it, but they cannot risk a full engage. They know what happens. GT definitely demonstrated that. It's Punish continuing to split towards the bottom side, and GT understanding that they might actually have an opportunity here. There's the pillar. Fish is going to go wide as the Destiny's going to make Punish sway into the fight. Savoki does have the ultimate running, but LGD now getting split apart and destroyed. Gold card goes down as Punish doesn't have the flash. PentaQ taking a lot of damage as Imp trying to kite around, but he's going to fall. Punish now the last man standing. He's going to get pillared out of the way. Really nice play from Savoki, and they only lose Republic, and they're going to make their way up the mid lane.
We'll see how punishing these death timers are. They do have a creep wave behind them. Again, Jhin, not necessarily the greatest AD carry, but at 50 minutes in the game, doesn't mean as much. He's still going to shred through those towers. That's why Eimy is trying to drag the creep wave away from them. Yep.
wushuang just going to tank up the inner turret. You can see Eimy just being frustrating. Savoki fighting in there. Does have a GA still available, does Eimy, but this inhibitor turret in trouble.
They also have the Lamb's Respite. They're now competing against kind of the extra damage against the towers, but since they have a creep with them.
Yeah, and there's 30 seconds to go on a lot of members of LGD. They're looking to try and finish this game out. Of course, Lamb's Respite will help them a lot. The first Nexus turret falls. The second one is going down. Game Talents really want to try and finish this game off. Lamb's Respite is going to go down, and that is going to be the game. Game Talents come back from 13,000 gold behind and pick up the win over LGD.
Ridiculous. The fact that it comes down to effectively a single team fight. 2 hero creeps. Those guys deserve the MVP. Making sure that,
right they do.
That the towers can't get the 66% reduced damage to them and allow Game Talents to siege more effectively there.
Yeah, and look, LGD, 2 team fights in a row, couldn't make it happen. The rest of the game, everything